Good morning, retail traders. It's early morning on Wednesday, and we're going to talk about a trade that broke out yesterday. This is the sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And let's get right to it. Netflix. So I've been watching earnings. This has been a big catalyst for me on how to trade the market. They haven't been too good at all, in my opinion. And I said, don't matter, I don't think anymore. These bulls were in a very bullish market. And it's just almost irrational. It is irrational exuberance. We're at the extreme greed level. When stocks run 2 to 3 to 400% in 1 year, you're at extreme greed. Extreme greed. So I like to play a little cautiously and look for the good ones that matter and the ones that count. Ones that have cash and ones that are to be talking about. We've got AI as the big scene here anymore. So let's get right to it. Netflix, this is the website. You know, I'm not much of a movie watcher. I hardly spend any time on TV at all. Most of my time is in front of the computer doing research, watching small YouTube reality videos, and giving my thumbs up to them. I'd give my thumbs up to about every one that I walk through and watch. So we've got Netflix. We had the great news coming out on Netflix. We knew that the subscriber base was up and that they rule. They're number one, just like Tesla is. And let's go ahead and pull up the news and see what they have to say. I always like to look at the news. I go to Wahoo Finance, go down and scroll through the news. I look through the news on the bottom of the page of my charts. The Dow Jones rises as Netflix jumps lately. Netflix stock jumps 9% on strong fourth quarter growth and rosy first quarter guidance. So they're telling you right there that they're number one, and that's real good to hear. Then we had that great news about TKO wanting to go streaming, which is, an outstanding idea. Plus The Rock joined the board of TKO, and I just think there's a lot of good stuff that's going to come around TKO. And it is a company that makes big bucks, big money. I mean, big money. And it's simple money. It's easy money. They fill out the stadiums. So there's definitely support with that company. And that was my biggest catalyst besides the guidance and the earnings. I knew they were going to be good. I knew Disney's fallen apart. They've gone too woke. And Disney's a good play too, don't mind you. We broke out of Disney Channel too, but I'd rather not watch either one of them. I don't think I've ever had a subscription to Netflix, and I don't think I ever will. But there's a lot of people that do. There's a lot of families that have it. They want to have it. They get entertained by the TV. I personally would rather pick up a guitar and play music. But that's besides the point. We're here to trade stocks. So that's all great news that comes out of it. Now I'm going to teach you a strategy that I've been teaching the room for the last 3 years. It's called knife catching. If anybody's familiar with how to catch knives, everything pulls back once it breaks out. It just pulls back, and then news can catapult a stock to have a knife and then an instant rebound. So I'm always looking for the pattern. Let's go ahead and pull up the stock itself, and I'm going to kind of walk you through this here strategy. We had a nice little breakout pre-market, so I knew something was up with this stock. I knew that earnings were going to come out after hours and that people were getting excited and invested in it. So all you really had to do to take that first trade is wait for the pullback. And it pulled right back to it. We had a nice little wedge set up right here, first thing in the morning. But I'm going to magnify this up. This is called the sneaky snake breakout pullback. Boom! And there's your big boom right there. It didn't look like it was going to amount to much first thing in the morning, but realizing we had that breakout pre-market gave me the idea to go ahead and watch this trade for the whole day and trade it. So we had what you call a snake, which I call a downtrend. We're going to draw that channel in here right now. A little touchy today. So there's your channel. Once you get to that top body of that candle to the next body candle that comes up, it creates a trend. And once you break out of that trend, you've got a bullish sign. You know, okay, we got to wait for that pullback. We got the snake, we got the breakout, now we've got the pullback. Now inside of this pullback, you want to look for some kind of pattern. It's important that you look for a pattern. And right out of the gate, it gave you an idea to take this trade. I call it the 1, 2, 3. So we're going to come up here and put the trend line in and draw this flag out. When I see the snake break out into a symmetrical flag, which is an upside down pennant flag, she breaks out and she goes ahead and respects that trend line. We're going to extend that out to the right. Came back again and extend. So you got the snake breakout, pull back with a higher low. When I see that higher low with a hammer, I'm very interested in taking this trade. The higher low means about everything to me. It's a very bullish sign that this thing is going to go ahead and continue to run. Now you could have had a double bottom down here, and it would have probably came down about 3 times and then had the breakout to the upside. But we had the higher low, and that created an upside down pennant flag, which is a symmetrical flag, and called the trade out, run it on up to the previous open price, right where you opened up at, and get out of the trade. And that's as simple as that. Snake, breakout, pull back, boom. So you had a couple of them trades going on today. You had another one right here. You draw out the trend line. Same exact pattern. Go from that body of that candle to that body of that candle right there. Bring it on down. There's your snake. We have a 1, 2, 3. Every one of them with a higher low, created a symmetrical flag. Same kind of pattern. Once we broke out, it pulled back, came back and hit the top of that channel of that flag, and that was the entry idea right there to take that trade. It's a pretty simple concept if you just have the patience to wait. Here, in this case, we broke out of the flag. She went ahead and moved to the upside. About 20 minutes later, she came back down, touched the top of this here channel right here, and then boom, went ahead and took off and made a double top for an exit idea. So that was the exit idea right there at the double top. Then we had another snake. So this is my third trade in this stock. I look for them patterns. Same exact thing. Draw that trend line in. I don't understand why people were selling off on this stock. It had real great. It's because the earnings have sucked. And you're going to hear different. I mean, I've watched all the earnings come out. They're just not real good. But it doesn't matter. When you're in a bull market, an extreme level of greed, they don't want to let this go. I mean, there's going to be some good bonuses paid off the last year and this year if they keep this up, this momentum. Election years are always good to me anyway, until we get to the election part, and then they like to knife. So we had the snake break out. We have the higher low again, indicating this is a buy signal. You can see all the indicators here, all the candles, how they changed. So you had a small little breakout to the 200. I mean to the 65. And that's still, if you took it from here at 485, I mean, that wasn't much. I don't remember even taking this trade, but who knows? I have to go back and look at my thing. So then we created what you would call a head and shoulders. We had another sell-off. Another sell off. Then she broke out. Just a complete V with 3 white soldiers right here. Leading the gate, 3 big old white soldiers. We had the 9 cross the 21, and then that was go ahead and stay in the trade as long as we kept above the 9. Once it failed, that was time to get out of the trade. So I had people asking me in the room, I said, does this look like a good one to hold into earnings? I said, heck yeah, man. We got that great news coming out. So we had another snake right here. Same exact example. You draw that trend line in, that snake. Draw that channel in. She broke out. She pulled back and created what you would call a head and shoulders. Inverse head and shoulders. And this is one of my favorite patterns of the year. Pulled back, recognized the head and shoulders. This is on 1 minute time frame. Boom! She went ahead and took off into earnings. All the way up. Slow, but gradually we were up $10, and then earnings came out and we had that big pop. So this trade created a lot of good opportunities. Yesterday it was in a downtrend. Another way to look at this stock, and I'm going to show you here on the daily. We had a rising Darvis box. So I drew this box out. Same thing, same using the snake. Take it to the next level. Bring it on down, hit that bottom right there, and then you've got your channel to take this trade in. So once it pulled back, created that little hook, she ran up and hit the pivot point. You want to take it all the way up to that third 1, 2, 3 bus, and that would be your exit idea in this trade. But with earnings coming out and all that good guidance, this thing really broke out. They also had a big gap up here. So Netflix is number 1. Go back to the 1 minute. Once we used that pivot point area, it went ahead and broke out after hours. Now, where's this thing going to go? That's a good question. So you want to pull up the 3-year weekly time frame, and we realize that this thing hit $700. Now, as I say, AMC and the movie theater is more or less not worth going to anymore. So you can take your entertainment, take it home, make your own popcorn, have your own treats. I call treats because of my dog I used to have. That's what we called him. So this stock has a good opportunity of breaking out to the upper side, to higher levels. And that next resistance would be right up in, I'd say, well, let's get this a little bit bigger here. I'm going to change the time on this to 5 years. When there's nothing else working, this will work. So you have what you call Darvis box over here. And we're going to flag that in. And that's the channel that you're going to be playing in. So the top of that Darvis box creates what you would call a head and shoulders. This is a head and shoulders. This shoulder line is going to be your resistance level. Once we hit that resistance, I see it coming back and correcting some and falling back into that pivot point of this Darvis box and consolidating. If it holds that support, you're going to be game to go ahead and run it up inside of this channel probably for the next month or two. If it does break that resistance level, and that when we'll look at that at the high we hit here shortly, if it does break 568.40, it will move up higher to a higher level. For right now, your support level is going to be that pivot point area inside of that Darvis box. That's a Darvis box. That went on for a whole year long. And that could be what could happen here. We're definitely going to find a higher level of support, and a higher, and we're going to try to maintain at 568.40. Anything beyond that, I think, will be irrational, exuberant, because we held this here for such a long period of time. So let's go ahead and go back to the daily. I mean, not back to, yeah, go back to the daily. No, go back to the 20-minute, 1 hour. It's not going to work. It's going to have to be the... So our resistance level is going to be right around 522, and I think we broke that. 539. So let's go back to that 3-year. Jot down 568 for a hard resistance. And I think we're going to go ahead and catapult on up there. We'll just have to see the price action today. Support level is going to be no lower than 508. No lower than 508. With your first support level here at 529. 529, 521, and then this area right down in here where we have this head and shoulders right around, well, right around 511. Right before you get to that 200. And that's on the 1 minute time frame. So I'm going to be interested. I'll probably sell a little bit of my position here. We did have an ascending triangle breakout also. So those are my 3 support levels. 529, 521. We want to try to keep it there with a low of 511 for a very strong buy if you're not in this trade. That's NFLX. I wish everybody a great day. This is the Sneaky Snake Trading Strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I wanted to show you my little strategy on how to catch knives. Sneaky Snake, breakout, pull back, boom.